All right, welcome back. This is the 10th and final module of the Finding Off-Market Deals course. We're at step 5, follow through on your decision. In filter number 4, we talked about what those decisions looked like. We had 4 different options that we covered, and we're going to dive into that as we wrap up this entire course. And just like always, we've got to go through the disclosure. Remember that I am not a licensed attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a broker or an agent or any other licensed individual. Even if I had a license, I'm not acting in that capacity. Therefore, I will not and have not discussed or provided any specific counsel, advice, or instruction that would apply to any specific individuals. That includes you. This presentation is intended to be general information. I recommend that you engage the services of professionals in making decisions that have a legal impact, especially financial decisions. Now, we've gone all the way through the Deal Spotter system. We've generated some leads. We've contacted the sellers to make sure that they're even open to the idea of selling their property. And the ones that passed through that filter, we did a quick analysis and ran the math to see what we would need to offer. We compared in filter number 2, we compared that offer price that we calculated to what their balance is on their mortgage. And the ones where the offer price was higher than their mortgage balance, we passed on to the next step, which is making an offer. We use the state-approved REPSI in most cases to submit an offer to the seller. And then we went to filter number 3, where we waited to see what the seller's decision was going to be. For those properties where the seller accepted our offer, we went into long analysis and we went and dug deep into the property and looked for problems. And then we used those problems to renegotiate and to create more profit for ourselves in the deal. And at this point, we passed through filter 4. We've made a decision as to what we're going to do with the property. All you have to do is follow through on that decision. So if you decided to buy the property, great. As you know, through your long analysis period, you should have been working on relationships with your credit partners and your equity partners and your debt partners. I've got more information for you on in the using other people's money class on that, and we'll go into great detail there. We're not going to go into so much detail here, but know that that's important, right? We should be doing that. Once an offer is accepted, that's when you should start the process of kind of getting those things into place. Maybe you renegotiated it. Maybe you decided ultimately to cancel it and to back out. Or maybe you decided to wholesale it. But at this point in the game, all you got to do is follow through. If you chose to buy it, set up a time with the title company to go close it. Make sure that you've got your funds in place and ready to be wired on the settlement deadline. And just kind of getting all your ducks in a row. At this point, you've already made the decision as to what to do with the property. So step 5 is just making sure that you have everything lined up, going back and double checking everything to make sure that you've got every step of the way lined up to go and execute this transaction. Now, every transaction is unique. So you're going to want to consult with your agent if you used one. You're going to want to consult with your title company. You definitely should use a title company. So consult with your title officer as to what's going to be needed at the closing table, what you're going to need to do to wire, and what you're going to need to do, to wire the funds over, what you're going to need to sign, what you're going to need to bring to the table. Make sure that when you go to closing that you have your ID. They're going to need your ID to make sure that it's you, right? And all of the documents that you sign at closing are going to be notarized, and it's standard procedure to present your ID at that time. Now, very important. You are responsible for each and every transaction that you engage in. Always double, triple, and quadruple check your numbers and findings before moving forward with a deal. This is your responsibility. Even though this system has proven to reduce risk for me, there are always risks in investing, and you may lose money. It's just part of the game, right? That's investing. If we were talking about stocks, of course, stocks are going to go down sometimes, and when stocks go down, you lose money. Sometimes you lose money in real estate. Now, we use strategies like this, we use systems like this to minimize those cases, but it's still very possible and still likely to happen. Just make sure that you pick yourself up. If that happens to you, pick yourself up, dust yourself off. If losing money once is something that causes you to stop investing in real estate, then that's where you end it. You lost money, right? But if you go out, you pick yourself up and you dust yourself off and you go do the next deal and make money on the next 4 or 5 transactions, then, we have a net gain. And that's just the game of investing. So be prepared for those kind of things. Don't allow the fear of that happening to paralyze you. You're playing at a different level now, right? So be prepared for that. Have a contingency plan in place. Always have 3 or 4 exit strategies planned out in each transaction before you dive into your primary strategy, so that you know what will happen in case anything blows up, right? In case the market changes, or in case a contractor rips you off, or whatever the case might be. Know what your exit strategies are. Are you going to turn it into a rental? Are you going to turn it into an Airbnb? Are you going to sell or finance it? Know what your exit strategies are going into each and every transaction, and never go into a transaction without having at least one exit strategy. Meaning you've got your primary strategy, which may be like fix and flips, for example, but you also have an exit strategy where you know exactly what you're going to do to turn that into a rental, for an example, if anything were to go wrong. Always consult attorneys, accountants, and qualified professionals before applying any of the strategies that you learned in this class. And then most importantly, keep in mind, this is a difficult process. I never said it was easy. I said it was simple, and it is simple. It's very simple. We were able to cover the entire Deal Spotter system in a couple of hours in 10 modules. It's a simple process, but it's not an easy process. It will require work. This is a difficult process, and the difference maker is whether or not you choose to give up. There's a typo on the screen. Sorry about that. The difference maker is whether or not you choose to give up at any point, right? Giving up is when we fail. In investing, having an alternate outcome from what we expected happen, that is not failure. If you shot for outcome A, which in most cases is make money, right? If you shot for outcome A, but outcome B or C or D or E or F happens, that is not failure. That's an opportunity to learn and to move on to the next transaction smarter, wiser, and ready to go out more capable of having a successful transaction the next time. The only point that you fail in real estate investing is when you give up. This is a difficult process, and the difference maker is whether or not you choose to give up at any point. Guys, I hope that this class was very enlightening for you. I hope you got a lot of really good information from it. Go out and start practicing this system. Go out and start generating those leads. Get good at the lead generation portion of this. Get good at step 1. And then once you feel like you're really good at step 1, then start applying filter number 1. And once you feel like you're good at that, then start applying step number 2, and so on. Treat this very much like a manufacturing process. Treat this like an assembly line. Compartmentalize your time for each one of these steps and filters, and that will maximize your efficiency as you use the Deal Spotter system. Guys, thank you very much for your time. This wraps up the Deal Spotter system. I look forward to working with you guys in future classes and in other classes that you click on and that you choose to learn from. We've got a lot of really good stuff, so make sure that you're educating yourself throughout the process. And good luck out there.